It's Sunday, May 28th. Gonna do a little walk around the garden. Starting in the hoop house. Got lots of seeds started that I need to plant out. It's been super dry. It's gonna rain tomorrow, I think, some. So might try and plant out some of these squash. Got some cilantro, some good King Henry, skirret, bunch of peppers, bunch of tomatoes. I've kind of missed the window for kale and Swiss chard. Yeah, some stuff that I will not probably plant out. Not much going on here. Got some cilantros, some beans along the back here, some Hablitzia tamnoides, Caucasian mountain spinach that I'm hoping will climb along with the beans. Some peas on the back side. On the outside, a little late in the game for peas, but I'm hoping these are sort of shaded by these hazelnuts, so it's a bit cooler. I need to water them. Anyway, yeah, some peas going. What else? No sign of hazelnuts yet. I haven't yet gotten any nuts off these three filbert guys. Might be a pollination issue, not sure. I've got another filbert I just planted this year. Hoping he'll grow up and maybe help the rest with pollination. Pawpaw here, fig. Gummies are all fruiting. This guy's sort of in shade and doesn't fruit, or in the past hasn't fruited very well. Volunteer spice bush. Tons of wildflowers growing in the swales here. A little early in the day, so some stuff hasn't quite opened up yet. I think this is Siberian wallflower. Some bee balm. False sunflower, I think. More bee balm, or Monarda. Cornelian cherry. This pawpaw died, I believe. Kind of in a super sunny spot. So yeah, kind of not surprised, but bummer. Here's a sour cherry tree. Starting to get some color, not quite ready yet. Gooseberry, Juneberry. The Whitening King Gumi. This Gumi strangely has very little fruit. Others are just killing it, but yeah, nice plump fruits. Elderberry, super tall. I pruned this guy back to like head height, so shooting up a ton. Same with this one. Beautiful elder flowers that smell amazing. Yeah, very nice. Carmine Jewel bush cherry, which for the first time flowered. I think I've showed this before, but yeah, there are a couple. I'm gonna wait for these to properly ripen, but this will be the first year I've gotten those. Excited about that. Aronia berry, getting quite tall. Definitely putting on lots of new growth. This guy got walloped by cicadas, but bouncing back nicely. Hanson's bush cherry. Beach plum. I should have probably pruned a little more aggressively to make more room for this beach plum. Nanking cherry, fucking killing it. These guys are loaded. Not quite ripe yet, but doing well. Another beach plum. Leaves don't look great, kind of curled. Lots of fruits, but I've not yet gotten a nice fruit off of beach plum, Prunus maritima. We'll see how it does this year, otherwise I'll probably give up on it. Nanking cherry, again, tons of fruit. Bunch of wildflowers in here. Looking quite nice. Volunteer ash, I believe. White currant maybe, or red. Not ripe yet. Gooseberry. This guy had tons of fruit last year, and I don't see any this year. Oh yeah, they're there. They're just hiding a little bit. What's down here? Some pawpaws scattered about, growing very slowly, but growing. Blackberries. These guys are just now flowering. The upper blackberries are already kind of ripening. Plant some native phlox in there. These salad beds have been killing it. Lettuce, some brassica stuff, spinach in the middle. Some peas, although lamb's quarters are competing, but yeah, peas are doing nicely. What do I have here? A Juneberry that I dug out. Chickasaw plum, 2 American plums, a fig that I rooted from a cutting. More peas. These are all arugula flopped over. These beds are a shit show, but some radish. The purple and white are all radish. The yellow's some brassica, otherwise weeds. Fennel in the middle. Peas, again, this bed's a mess. Some spinach in here, arugula. Another spinach. That's pretty cool how the pollen knocks off like that. Tons of violet and morning glory. Cilantro. Blueberries. I'll walk around the blueberries, but they're looking real nice. Some bee balm. Golden Alexanders, native flower I planted. Some raspberry, tons of raspberries. I planted like 2 red raspberries in here, and they've just gone everywhere. They're red raspberry plants just like popping up, yeah, all through here. This fish plant is super annoying. I need to try and eradicate that. Very hard to do. Blueberry with a red raspberry growing up like, yeah, right at its base. Here's that blueberry plant leaning over, but lots of blueberries. Red raspberry, more fish plant, another blueberry. Some more red this is a different variety of red raspberry. Dorman, I believe. Let's see, what else? Some cardinal flower, blue lobelia and red lobelia. 2 different cardinal flower guys. Mountain mint, liatris, blazing star, a Hansen's bush cherry, Siberian wallflower growing up through it. A little like dwarf blackberry guy that, in retrospect, the full-size blackberries are a much better pick here. Egyptian walking onion, maybe, or some other perennial onion. And there are onions all in here that in the winter do well, but they're kind of, I haven't weeded in forever. Aronia, putting on a good fruit set. A bunch of comfrey, thistle. We've gotten lots of strawberries. You got to search a bit. Higher up I know where there are some. This is a whitening king. In here I've got only some Chinese artichoke. Stachys something. Not doing well though. I don't know, the leaves are all funky. And nothing else. I sowed some seeds in here, but this bed's kind of like I see a random cilantro and who knows what else. It's been just super dry. Like, I'm not going to water all of these beds by hand, and we haven't gotten pretty much any rain in 2 weeks. So I haven't done anything. And I mean, there's different walking onion, strawberries, there's some perennial onions, but mostly these beds are just weeds. And yeah, this is where I might plant out some of those peppers and tomatoes and squash and whatnot. But I need to clear some space, and I need Mother Nature to cooperate as well. Here's the little pond thing. Kind of turned it into a fortress to keep a raccoon and or fox, I don't know which, but ate a good number of my fish, which is fine, but made it a little harder for them. Watercress growing up and out of there's a little planter box in there, but watercress killing it. Gonna have lots of seeds from that. What is that? Mustard greens, some mint, some strawberries. Fish are in there, happy. I see a little orange guy there. Need to clean my little intake filter. This bed is also nothing, just weeds. Some lemon balm right there. And there are garlic chives in here, disguised amongst the grasses. Anyway, whatever. But this bed's also just junk that I need to do something with. I've done squashes in this bed in the past, so I guess that's the plan. But need to somehow make room. Compost bin. Haven't turned or watered this in a while, but composting, I guess. This is my Illinois Everberry Mulberry, which died back to the ground maybe 2 years ago, but it's doing all right this year. This will eventually be like, or if it lives, 50 feet tall. We'll see. I see mulberries developing. What is that? Something I don't want. Forget what that is. Wineberry, fall sunflower. A couple pawpaws in here that I grew from seed. Oh wait, Susquehanna. So that died back below Yeah, I tried grafting that one and it obviously didn't take. Same deal with another one in here. Anyway, some pawpaws from seed. I think that guy might be a pawpaw, like a select or an improved pawpaw. Yeah, that's some KSU variety, I think. Pawpaw, Juneberry, one of the few that's doing well. Some nice fruits. We found at the local county park around here yesterday a gorgeous, like 30-foot tall Juneberry, probably the same species that had tons of fruits in about the same stage, a little farther along, mostly that color, but they were delicious. I'm optimistic that this guy will eventually be a 30-foot tall, you know, happy specimen producing fruit. Jujube, a little bit leany, but pretty happy. Here's a gumi, just loaded. Definitely need to get out here and harvest. Tons of fruit, and they're pretty delicious when they're ripe. Little seedy, which is annoying, but quite good. Kind of hard to pluck with one hand. Here's a jujube that died over the winter. A Ribes americanum. Been trying to water this guy because I know Ribes generally like not wet soil, but you know, I don't want it to dry out fully. Wildflowers, an amber autumn olive. Persimmon, American persimmon. More Nankings. I feel like the Nanking fruits aren't quite as like plump as they've been in the past. I think partly because it's just been dry, but they're looking pretty good. Definitely juicy. They're tasty, not quite ripe yet, but yeah, some of them are a little puny. Joy bush cherry, which I don't know, that's been in the ground for 4 years and it's growing so slowly. I haven't weeded it at all this year, but I might just let that guy succumb. Some comfrey, white Nanking. Very few fruits, if any. I see some forming. No strawberry to check, nope. I swallowed a bug. Blackberries in here, already getting some color. I, over the winter, like sort of tried to corral them, put some wires around, and trying to keep them like out of the path. Gummies, tons of gummies. 3 gummy bushes here, loaded. Blueberries here, tons of fruits. I mean, well, I guess we've had denser fruit sets, but yeah, lots. I mean, they're all in here. Mostly daylilies in here, some red vein sorrel, some French sorrel, goldenrod. These daylilies are about to flower. Blueberry. Small, but putting on nice fruits. Blackberry, black currant, a bunch of currants through here. I think this is a black currant. And starting to get some color, a red currant with some red. Nice, that's the first red I've seen. Pawpaw, gooseberry, jostaberry. Jostaberries didn't fruit at all last year, but tons of fruits this year. Sorry, I just ate breakfast. I'm still burping and digesting. Red currant, looking nice. Gooseberry, jostaberry. There's some grape in here from the prior owner that are not good, that keeps coming back. It's pretty ferocious. Black raspberry, some nice new shoots, and you can see the black raspberry fruits developing. Cucumber plants in here with some peas as well. Also some Chinese artichoke, as I had down there, the Stachys affinis, I think. Same deal with the leaves looking weird. More ribes, blackcurrant. This is a honeyberry. I've had quite a good fruit set on honeyberries. The birds have not touched them. They're delicious when ripe. And yeah, the birds are leaving them. That one's a little tart, but it's still really good. Amber autumn olive. I've got tomatoes in here and peas as well. Kind of just a mix of. There's some beans as well from last year. I had beans in this bed last year and they're popping up. American persimmon. These guys have put on lots of height in the past couple years. This is a hybrid American Asian, Rosie Yonka or something, I think. Asparagus, kind of a mess, but I haven't harvested in a while. I think we're kind of past the point of getting baby asparagus. Another gumi, loaded. Fennel, false sunflower. These are some Jerusalem artichokes that from seed up there have established in the swales here. Borage, more Jerusalem artichokes that I need to weed out before they become 9 feet tall. Juneberry, I moved this guy and he's done well, or has not been too bothered by that. Even though I moved 2 others, I dug out some down there into pots and they straight died. So I don't know, I can't decide whether Juneberry is sensitive to transplanting or, in this guy's case, doesn't seem to care. Fennel, false sunflower, various wildflowers, a new jujube. What is this, Lee or Lang maybe? GA866, okay. Gooseberry, Hanson's bush cherry, pawpaw. This pawpaw had a flower, but I don't think I'm gonna get fruit this year. A bunch of wineberries in here, black cherry, a dogwood volunteer, tulip poplars. This is kind of just a little wild patch ash. Lots of multiflora rose. The annoying climby thing. What was that called? Oriental bittersweet. But yeah, I was mostly allowed this area to just do its own thing because the wineberries produce pretty well. Juneberry, another Juneberry, kind of leany. I wish this guy would send another shoot up and grow straight. J-chokes, starting to do their thing. Yeah, I had a Juneberry there that was annoying and another one there that was annoying that I think those are the 2 that I killed digging out, but it makes the pathing flow a little better. Gumi, again, tons of fruits. Got some potatoes in here and had onions as well. The onions are still there. Maybe in the winter the onions will get their chance, but potatoes are flowering. And not too much weed pressure. There's this cleavers, bed straw. Is it gallium, is that right? And vetch and morning glory, but not too bad. Some sort of currant, jostaberry maybe. Got lots of honeyberries along the top here. I need to come back out and harvest. These honeyberries also held their fruits for a long time. Like, we had the first ripe honeyberry. That one's nice. Maybe like May 1st or even before that, April, last day of April. It's pretty sweet that they set fruit so early. And yeah, I'm really surprised that they're holding. In the past, birds have gotten these, but some of these are delicious. That one's like, that's like as good as a blueberry, no doubt. And it's nice that they kind of hide their fruits in there. It's a little bit like the blueberries are out on display. Birds have to be a little more aware to find these. Grapes up top. Something's been digging in there. Bird probably. Goji berry, a dead persimmon, gooseberry, blackcurrant, lots of vetch and rose, and this section I have not touched in a while. Here's some gooseberries, getting some color, gonna be quite nice. This is kind of just like a little current explosion. Here's my nice strawberries. Yeah, looking pretty good. Pluck one of those, save that for the road. Another one here. Yeah, and again, birds have not gotten these guys either. They're like decently well. Ants are the one thing that are on these. Pretty small, but they're delicious. Put them in my pocket and hopefully not forget. More honeyberries. Again, still lots of fruits hanging on. Grapes, I haven't checked in on the grapes, or I need to like help them get up. Probably should be flowering by now or pretty soon, but I don't see any flower clusters. Another goji berry. Fig tree. This is the guy that I started that cutting from down below. Bouncing back nicely. This is a brown turkey. Some wine berries. Comfrey. Got 5 honeyberries in here, but they're, well, struggling a tiny bit. I need to help weed them, but yeah, honeyberry there. Wineberry, honeyberry, some red raspberry in the mix here. Another gumi. Pear tree. This guy in particular is like lost like 4 branches just randomly. We had a couple windstorms, but yeah, rough year for him, and some, I think, fire blight maybe, getting some of these pear branches. Like that far guy definitely was, and we haven't had that in past years. So yeah, these pears, these old established pears seem to be struggling a little bit. And then I planted some new pears last fall. So one there, one up high, one over there, I think just 3. So a new generation of pears. If these old guys go, this is my Girardi mulberry with some fruits, but not ripe yet. Some black raspberry, a bunch of currants in here, kind of hidden in the mess. I had a big peach tree, well, a peach and 3 plums that I took out. Anyway, I had morning glories climbing all over the place. And there are some peach volunteers, like from pits, popping up. Let me look left here. Lots of pears on these pear trees, despite some disease issues. Nanking, loaded, gooseberry, pear, blackcurrant, another Nanking, apple. This is a McIntosh, and of all my apples, probably just location, but it looks quite happy. No, well, here's some like fire blight or some sort of disease issues, but not bad at all. Looking pretty good. There's a sour cherry right in the mix here with some red fruits on it. Not many. I've not cut this guy back really at all, because I'm kind of wanting it to get a little taller and get some sunlight over these pine trees. But it is starting to kind of conflict with that apple. Nanking, gumi, another apple. This is a Honeycrisp. A couple pawpaws in here, buried in honeysuckle vines. More honeysuckle vines on this. I think this is a sucker off that cherry. Apple. This guy like looked dead at the beginning of the year, but bouncing back. I think it's a Honeycrisp. And then this is a Royal Gala apple. Not looking so good. Another blackberry patch. This guy, because it's higher up in the landscape, gets sun earlier in the day and earlier in the year, and is much farther along. So you can see just tons of blackberries on this guy. Still some flowers, but it's mostly beyond the flowering stage. I had this propped up, my little bamboo propping system. I need to fix that. They're getting heavy now. Red currant. These are my hardy kiwis. Again, these grow super fast. I need to get in here and help these stay on the wires. Got some beans in here. Started a bit late, but that's fine. And this is Apios americana, American groundnut, kind of, which has done a really good job of, despite all these weeds, it reliably pops up and fights through and, gets going up. So, and there is lots of oriental bittersweet in here as well, and various other climbing things that I don't want. And the Apios americana set seed, that or a critter maybe moved a tuber, but they're now popping up on this side of the path. I'm assuming from seed. And for now, I've got that going up my pear, or sorry, Asian pear. We'll see. Growing fast, man. I set it there and it's already gone 2 feet in maybe 5 days. I kind of wanted it to go like that way somehow. Anyway, some Asian pears. There are 3 of them here. 1, 2, and that third guy. Some issues on that guy in particular, but not too bad. Probably need to thin out some of these fruits. Not too bad though. Pretty reasonable amount of fruits per branch. Here's another pear. You can see fire blight or whatever. Another goji berry. I think that's sort of it. So as with prior years, I suck at annual vegetable gardening, but all the perennial stuff is doing quite well. Here's a che fruit with, I guess these are the flowers. I thought those were, yeah, so I think I'm gonna have some fruits on this tiny little che. But yeah, like unless I have a limited amount of water up here and a limited desire to be watering, I can't really do sprinklers or drip irrigation. Excuse me, I guess I could, but yeah, unless Mother Nature cooperates and waters for me a little bit, it's kind of pretty challenging to keep annual stuff happy unless I'm up here like watering it every day, which I'm not willing to do. So yeah, I've kind of just said screw it on a lot of the starts I've got sitting in the hoop house there. But if the weather changes and we get some good rain, I'll probably plant them out. Tons of wildflowers. The swales here are looking really nice. Salsify. These flower buds are actually quite delicious, but the flowers are also pretty, so I have resisted. Lots of nice flowers in here. Yeah, it's a cool time of year, but feeling sort of jungly, which is fine. That's sort of the vision. And I always feel bad like spending tons of time starting seeds, and I always have visions of like an amazing annual veggie garden, but it's hard. If I'd planted these guys a couple weeks ago, they probably would be dead by now because I probably wouldn't have watered them. Instead, they're just languishing in these trays, which, oh, that's fine. Fortunately, it's like fairly shady in this little nook here. I'm kind of glad I put this hoop house under this big black walnut. And I've got these hazelnuts that'll eventually shade kind of the late day sun. So in the summer, this is kind of a nice, you know, pretty mellow spot for starts to hang out. You know, not get anything out in the middle there gets roasted. A couple of other things. This is purple flowering raspberry, Rubus odoratus, which always, this thing is, well, has spread quite a bit as raspberries do, but I planted them maybe a foot in from the fence, 1.5 feet, and they've, you know, worked their way all the way out, and they're actually popping up on the back side of the fence as well. This is cutleaf coneflower, Rudbeckia lacinata, or green-headed coneflower, or sochan, which is an edible black-eyed Susan relative. It's actually fairly tasty, but I'm started that from seed last year, and I've got a couple others. Pleased with that. Can try and spread those seeds if I get a good seed set this year. American hazelnut, probably its third year maybe, doing pretty well, and I planted another American hazelnut. What else? There's a black cohosh plant here that hasn't really done much in weeks. I think just because it's so dry. Some elderberries that I started from cuttings hanging out in there. This was my strawberry bed, and yeah, there are some strawberries, but yeah, I haven't actually looked in here recently. They're in there. You just got to look a little bit. Sorry for the shit filming. But there also are like lots of stilt grass. This is a spice bush, clover, lots of creeping Charlie, vetch. I think it's mainly just that it's been dry though, that the strawberries are struggling a bit. Tons of creeping Charlie. This whole section's definitely got creeping Charlie winning out, but that's all right. I think this is a little bit too shady for strawberries. Like, they've done better higher up where it's sunnier, but I don't know. I haven't done anything to this bed, and to get some strawberries with zero work, I'm fine with that. And I'll gradually probably start propagating some of these runners to different spots, kind of gradually migrate my strawberry bed to elsewhere. Okay, that's it. Bye.